breaking down Tennessee Titans prospects who were drafted in the 2022 NFL Draft. This video is going to be about Theo Jackson, safety hybrid, right? From Tennessee. First thing I noticed about Theo was that he has good tape. And I remember, I think Thor Nystrom from NBC, draft analyst, said that he was watching, or it might have been him or Matt Waldman. Follow those guys, by the way. That said, watching tape, and they saw Theo Jackson more around the ball making plays or had better tape than Alontae Taylor, who went, I think, in the second or third round to the Saints, and thought that he had better tape than Alontae Taylor, who was highly touted, which I think they both are very similar. Like, I think that Theo could have played corner if he really wanted to. I think, I don't think he's as fluid as Alontae is, but I think if you move Alontae Taylor to safety, I think that Theo Jackson is probably a better safety, hands down. And I think Alontae Taylor is probably pushing more towards being a safety than anything at the next level, especially if athleticism decrease at any point. So anyway, let's talk about Theo a little bit more. I think he's had an organic rise at Tennessee from, being a special teamer to getting, starting role, and playing that star position, which is a linebacker / safety role with the Vols. Instinctive, hardworking, was, even from a leadership perspective, started off more quiet, more meek, started to becoming more of a leader within that UT defensive backfield, started becoming a leader. He and Alontae Taylor, feeding off of each other, trying to change that culture in Knoxville. And when you get at this range in the draft, late rounds, 5th, 6th, 7th rounds, you're going to find these prospects that have these stories that highlight character, because at that point, the talent isn't, first round, obviously, second round, obviously. So it's a guys that, if I take him, how's he going to fit in the locker room? Has he experienced adversity? How is he going to overcome this adversity? Does he have it in him to? And I think these last two selections, which we'll get to the last selection that the Titans had, this is the second from last, Theo Jackson. I think from a character profile, you got a great guy that has ability to come in and be a safety behind, Hooker and Byard. And I think the Titans re-signed Farley. I'm not sure. They should have if they didn't. And being that 4th, 5th safety with special teams value, learn from them, you possibly could get some valuable reps, especially learning during the preseason and training camp. And, if an injury or two happens, yeah, you could probably trust him. I think you could trust him, especially with the character profile. He's going to learn. He's going to shut up. He's going to work. He's going to listen. And from a traits perspective, yeah, he has tight hips. He's not a phenomenal athlete, but he's smart. He's going to play hard, good straight line speed, solid tackler. As long as he keeps his head up, doesn't dip. Good player at that value. I mean, you don't get, it's very tough to find something as good as that. I liken it to, even though I had Chris Jackson ranked way lower, I won't say way lower, it's almost on par. It's on par with the Chris Jackson selection from a few years ago, which I didn't agree with, but the character profile is what has made Chris Jackson stay. So makes sense. I like the pick. Solid.